What's up YouTube, JP here, and quite a few of you have asked, how does Hogwarts Legacy run on the Steam Deck? So before we begin, I just want to say that my Steam Deck has an upgraded 512GB M.2 SSD, and that is what I've installed Hogwarts Legacy on. Also, I have the latest version of SteamOS. So without further delay, let's dive in. So first things first, let's have a look at the settings I've chosen. Now also, top left, you'll see the FPS counter. Now when I started the game, it had recommended settings and it was set to 30 FPS. So I've changed this to uncapped. Now there's not that many settings on this screen, but on the next screen, which is the next one down, is where we can change all the graphics. Now as you can see, it's on recommended, which is pretty much low. So we're going to set everything to low and then hit apply to see how the game runs. Now although this is really early on in the game, there will be some spoilers here, so just bear that in mind. Now as you can see, we're running at about 30 to 40 FPS. Sometimes it'll go a bit higher, but you've got to remember this is the lowest setting that you can have. So there's not really much more you can do to get more FPS out of it. So this game is actually marked down as being great on deck. And so far I agree. The performance has been okay. Everything works and I haven't really noticed that much glitching. But let's see what happens if we turn the graphics up a bit. So going back into the settings, we're going to change the graphical settings. So we're going to change this from the recommended low to medium, and let's see how that performs. So this doesn't actually look like it's made that much of a difference to the FPS. We're still getting between 30 and 40, sometimes going up to 50. Now as we're looking at the map here, of course you're going to get the 60 FPS, but it's when you're running around and obviously when you get to battle scenes. Now in all honesty, I think medium settings is probably the one to go for, because even on low you're not going to get 60 FPS, so you may as well get slightly better graphics out of it and put it on medium. But the big question here is, what happens if you do put it on high settings? So let's take a look at high settings now. So going back into the settings, we're going to change it from medium to high. So obviously changing it to high settings has lowered the FPS, and obviously you can see we're getting some pop-in with the grass there. Now it's still running about 28-29 frames per second, but it's not just the frames per second, there's a little bit of pause and glitchiness here and there. So I can imagine when you get to busier locations, you're in a Hogwarts castle or there's battle scenes going on, I think the FPS is going to drop down to the 10s. So definitely not ideal, and in my opinion unplayable. So I'm going to show you what I regard as being the sweet spot with graphics and FPS. So go back into the settings, what I'm actually going to do is limit the FPS to 30. Now of course you're not going to get a constant 30 FPS, you're still going to get dips. So let's change the settings from high to medium. And I think this is the best way to play the game on the Steam Deck. So let's see how those settings work out with me battling one of these trolls.
Are we weakening him at all?
Keep at it! We have to wear him down!
Let me see.
Look out!
took him long enough.
We need to make sure he stays that way.
There you go.
So I think the main thing to take away here is yes, you can play Hogwarts Legacy on the Steam Deck, and it's quite an enjoyable experience. So I'm going to end the video here. If you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads. I'm JP, you've been watching Alien Retro Gaming, and I'll catch you in the next one.